in the playoff. So, Shannon, who wins?
Skip, the smart money would say pick Georgia. They've been dominant all year, especially defensively. They got a lot of guys that's going to be playing on Sunday. You can make a case that Jordan Davis is the best defensive player in football, college player in football, although I think Will Anderson is the best player, the linebacker from Alabama.
Maybe.
Coach Saban is 9-11. He has won 9 of his last 11 games against top 5 teams. He's 24-1 against former assistants. As we know, Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M got him this year. I don't believe Alabama can play worse than what they played for 58 minutes of what they played against Auburn, the rival. And we know the Iron Bowl, Skip. We know that rivalry. That thing runs deep. It's hard to say there's a better college rivalry in football than the Iron Bowl. I know Ohio State and Michigan, Skip, but when you talk about that thing split right down to, you either Alabama or you Auburn. Ain't no, well, you know what? I kind of like both of them, Skip. You know, I like Bo, but Coach Bryant was my favorite.
You unfortunately forgot Texas, Oklahoma, but go ahead.
But Skip, you talk about different states. I mean, just imagine if Texas and Oklahoma, they border. We right here. They in the same state. So for me, Skip, I think Bryce Young right now is the Heisman Trophy front runner, especially after that moment in which he had a 98-yard drive to tie the game and then a 2-point play in the 4th overtime to win the game. He has a big game. I think he sews that up. I just think Alabama's defense will do it. Because I'm still not so. I'm sold on Georgia's defense. I'm not sold on Georgia's offense. They don't, I mean, Stetson Bennett, are we sure Stetson Bennett the 4th? Are we sure he's a legit big-time quarterback? Because they always get short fields. They know they don't need to score but like 10 points because remember, Skip, the best defense they played was Clemson. They put up no points against Clemson. They got a pick 6. They won the game, 10-3, 10-7, but that was because the defense basically shut Clemson down for the entirety of the ball game.
They did.
So I believe Alabama will have more success than what they had early last week against Auburn, and I'm going to say they win this ball game. I think they pull the upset. Georgia still makes the college football playoff because of their only one loss, and they've been, number 1 for the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks. But I'm going to say Alabama gets it done. They find a way to pull this off, and Bryce Young wins the day.
Low score?
I'm going to say, I didn't have a score on here, but you know what? I'll give you one right now. I'm going to say they win. I'm going to say they win 24-20.
You just said that the Crimson Tide will score 24 points on a defense allowing 6.9 points per game.
He ain't playing offense like this. And we get Jameson Williams back, Skip. He's the best receiver in the SEC.
Late of Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like everyone out there in our viewing audience to know that Shannon Sharpe, born and raised in the state of Georgia, just picked against Georgia because he is all in for reasons I don't understand with Coach Saban. Saint Nick, who I occasionally call Ain't Nick, but you did not attend the University of Alabama.
I did not.
But you are all about Roll Tide.
Right. Coach Saban. Coach Saban got this.
And I'm all about Troll Tide.
Yeah, we know.
Yes, we do know that. So I don't really understand how you could pick against your home state team. The Athens team, the one that everybody is going to be mad for in your
city. It's basically a home game because they play in the Mercedes-Benz Dome.
They're playing in the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta, GA. So given all the above, I'm still not surprised because since we started this show together, you have been all about Roll Tide.
Yeah.
So I get that. But I got to tell you, the Tide is about to roll right into a big old brick wall.
It's
about to be out. The Tide will be out because the incredible thing is Alabama hasn't been this big an underdog in 13 years.
Coach Saban's first year, if I'm not mistaken.
Back to 2008. -6 it is right now, unless it's changed since.
Yeah, it was 6.5. It's coming down. See? You see what's happening? It's coming down, Skip.
They have been favored, have the Crimson Tide, in 92 straight games until now. And they're not just like a 1-point dog or 2. It's 6.
Yeah.
It's significant 6 points because that's about what it should be. Because I watched the Iron Bowl, and I was stunned to the point of being mystified by how Bryce Young could not move the ball against the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah.
It went on and on and on. And the longer it went, it seemed like the harder it was for him to get a first down, let alone a touchdown, because late in the game, with 1:11 left, You're down 10-3.
Yeah.
So you've scored all of 3 points, and here came that young man, and I don't disagree with you. He made a Heisman statement. I'm not saying he won it, but they go 97 yards in 12 plays in 1 minute and 11 seconds, and that throw that he made, 28 yards out of nowhere to Ja'Cory Brooks, who had caught, here we go, here's the, what a throw, and what a catch by a kid who's now caught 4 total balls this year.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
He had him on earlier, and he ran a comeback, and and they came back and ran the same play. If you watch this drive, people, I know you remember at home, he had him earlier on a go ball, and he pulled up and he ran a comeback.
We got to see it one more time, because this is a
That's big time.
And
That's big time. Skip, why are you playing that coverage? Can you tell me why you playing press coverage?
They did it all game. That's how they were going to live and die with it.
Yeah, but Skip,
they did. They lived and died with it. Listen, you of all people know how hard that catch was? It's over the wrong shoulder. and it's hard to track it. And then it's hard to catch it. It's hard to subdue it. Well, it's going on. It just comes out of nowhere. And it's not like you've been doing it all year, because you hadn't done it at all.
He hadn't done it all. He probably wouldn't even had Williams. That would probably been Williams in the game had he not been in there. But Skip, look.
Okay, Georgia, so to your point, that could be a Heisman moment right there. That could be, because that ties the game at the buzzer of regulation.
Yes.
Leading to the overtime.
Right.
And here we go. And he was very good. But let me finish with this about Bryce Young. Despite a hot hand late in the game and in overtime, he winds up 25 of 51. That's 49%. Is that good?
That ain't good, but
no.
327.
317.
317 and what?
2 touchdowns and 1 pick.
Man.
QBR of only 66. And usually the college QBRs are just like off the charts. They're always in the 90s. Right. And he was way down at 66.
But here's the thing. Okay, that game, and we know that's a rivalry. Look, Auburn had lost like 3 straight, in which they had big leads. They lost to South Carolina just a week before. So you knew
they did not have their quarterback.
They were going to be ready for Alabama.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, Skip. Alabama can be bad. Auburn can be good. You remember, Skip, when Cam, Alabama had Cam down like 20-0.
It was unbelievable.
And they weren't very good. And so it really doesn't matter in this rivalry. But, Skip, here's the thing. Georgia, I don't know if Georgia's played the level of competition that Alabama has played, especially offensively. So we'll get an opportunity to see, because they miss Ole Miss, they miss A&M, they miss Mississippi State. And Clemson turned out to be not as good as we thought they were going to be offensively. And Florida was so bad, they fired Dan Mullen.
They did.
So we'll get an opportunity to see. It's strength on strength.
Okay.
Alabama's offense, we know that's how they butter their bread. Georgia's defense, we know how they Kirby has done a great job of going and getting 5, 4, and 5-star recruits on that side of the football.
They always do, though.
But old St. Nick, it's something about old St. Nick.
I know, but every NFL draft, I know there are a bunch of Bama players, but Georgia just dominates.
Georgia loaded.
This is like the biggest pipeline of talent.
It is.
It's your state. It's just like, if you could just recruit the state of Georgia, you
Georgia got athletes. They got more. You know, because you hear about Texas and you hear about Florida and California, and rightfully so. But Georgia on the sneak tip, they got them. They loaded down there.
Now, back to that quarterback at Georgia. I am with you. Every time I watch him, I want to say no. I want to say no. Stetson Bennett, the fourth. He is all of 5 feet 11 inches by 190 pounds. But I'm starting to see Tyler Heineke.
Right.
That's what I'm seeing, because he is a little play maker, and he just keeps making plays. And that's why Kirby, because that JT Daniels is more prototypical 6'3", 210-ish, you know, got the bigger arm, you know.
He got hurt and couldn't get the job back.
No, he couldn't get it back. And so my point is, I look at QBR in college football, and C.J. Stroud, Ohio State, is barely ahead of, guess who? Little Stetson. He's number 2 in QBR, and Bryce is down at 4th. Okay, so his numbers are saying yes.
But he don't have nearly, Skip, they don't allow him to throw the ball like the other 2 guys are throwing the ball. Because I think Bryce Young is 40-4 with like 3,900 yards. C.J. Stroud is like a little over 3,800, and I think he's like 38-5. Stetson Bennett, I know he doesn't have more than probably 20, 25, maybe 20 touchdowns.
But he hadn't made many mistakes, I got to tell you.
Well, that's the way they play, Skip. Because if you don't turn it over, what's the likelihood of somebody going 70, 80 yards against that defense? And so Kirby is coaching like Coach Saban used to coach. Let's run the football, play outstanding defense, make them travel the long way, and they can't beat us. So you got to put them to the test. Watch Obama jump out on him and make old Stetson Bennett. And he'll Stetson Bennett. He gonna Stetson hat, Stetson boots.
Really?
He got to go.
Gots to go.
Yeah, Stetson. We gonna beat them both.
Huh.
The hat, the boots, and the Bennett.
Really?
Yep. All Stetsons gonna lose on Saturday.
All I know is when I'm watching the Iron Bowl, Alabama's line didn't look like it was made of iron. It was made of balsa wood. That's what it looked like.
That thing was
leaky. Against
that right
this front, this front seven is hellacious.
Yeah, that D-line.
It comes from everywhere.
It got me nervous, Skip. I'm nervous about the problem. I'm nervous about the offensive line. Because really, we got one, the left tackle. Neal, he legit. But all the rest of them, because think about it, Skip, the right tackle that was starting, he had replaced the right tackle that got benched. Coach Saban had to come back and bring the guy that got benched, bring him back in the game. They replaced the center.
They did. Okay, so I got Georgia for 1K straight up. Thank you.
No, you got to give me the point. Give me the point.
No, I'm not.
Hold on, Skip.
Georgia, straight up.
Hold up. You playing a game in Georgia. You playing a game as a six-point favorite, and you want it straight up?
Somebody's got to stand up for the state of Georgia, and it's not you, it's me. I got a case on Georgia.
Now you standing up for the state of Georgia. Yeah. No, you stand up for the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, well.
I guess you gonna be a USC fan now with old Lincoln.
No, I'm stinking Lincoln. No, not me.
All right, guys, that game is tomorrow afternoon, but don't forget tomorrow night's marquee matchup of Michigan versus Iowa in the Big Ten Championship. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Now, did last night prove it's time for Skip's Cowboys to go with Tony Pollard?